Good morning, everybody. Hello. How you doing today? I hope everything's going great for you. Welcome to the day. If it's first thing in the morning, hope you're doing great. I got Maisie here and Charlie's in the house, so let's get going with the reading. New life. What's happening here? Talisman, transformation, and jealousy. Okay, I haven't seen that card in a few days. But whenever it shows up, I don't know. Like whenever it shows up, I just feel like some of you are incurring not the wrath of other people, but just the attention of other people. Maybe some of you kind of keep a low profile because you're not wanting this attention, but you're going to be getting a lot of attention. Okay. Some of you are really shifting into a much different kind of experience. It's almost like you're getting the key to the city, that key, the key to change, the key to the beginning that you're experiencing. All right, let's see what's going on. Whenever I see that, I mean, that jealousy card is wow. What's the next card? Full moon. We got a full moon this week in Gemini. Bet you're going to hear about it. Whatever this jealousy thing is, I bet you're going to hear about it. Oh, yeah. 10 of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. Chariot. Look at this. 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. Wow. 9 of Cups. You have let somebody go. Okay? Even if it's just you as the person you were, you have let that go. All right. I think you should be really proud of yourself. There's other people watching you who might be a little jealous of this. I think there is somebody here, could be a Cancerian. I've been seeing that for a while. Cancer, Scorpio, and then the Gemini energy. This is what you've been manifesting. It's here. It is here. 4 of Wands. The Emperor. Hierophant. 9 of Swords. The World. Wow. What the heck? Ace of Wands. That's been showing up quite a bit. Ace of Wands has been showing up quite a bit. It's like the view to the future. The future is bright here. Page of Wands, Knight of Swords, and the King of Wands, baby. Aries energy, Taurus, Gemini. Okay, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. The first 4 signs are here. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. There's something about the beginning, and that can be even the beginning of the year or the beginning of the zodiacal year, Aries through Cancer. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Yeah, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. This just says to me that I feel like you're stepping out into this new life. It doesn't have to be March 21st to, April 20th or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be that time period. It's really the time that you're giving birth to a new self. Now, for some of you, this can be that February conjunction of Saturn and Neptune that we're experiencing, which is super rare next February. I almost feel like this winter, during this time period, right now in Sagittarius, there's just a lot of fast moving energy. This has been happening since last Cancer period, which was in June. And here we are now in December, and we are going toward a Capricorn slowdown. And that's a thing that what I mean by that is we're going to be able to implement. If a lot of what you've been doing is just been all like ideas and up here and up in your head and, making plans and thinking about things and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And a lot of conversations about like, yes, I have to do this. I have to tweak this and all that stuff. When we get to this solstice, okay, so the solstice is happening on the 21st, the day before, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. And that new moon in Sagittarius is at 28 degrees, which is very close to the galactic center. The galactic center is 27 degrees. If you in particular have anything at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, that's very powerful in a birth chart, because it really does show that there's like, it's almost like part of your life is going to be going from one kind of life to another. And I feel like this galactic center, this new moon in Sagittarius, is going to be birthing this new life. Okay. So we have a full moon this week in Gemini. There's going to be some closing out conversations. That's why this was the first card out. Like, it's already done. There's no fixing it. Something is already done. And you've manifested this new beginning. So I almost feel like at some point there's been a reticence or a resistance to the completion of a cycle. Like, maybe it could still work out, or maybe we could figure out a new way, or maybe I could stay on in another capacity. You see what I'm saying? Like, the endings of something, career, work, which aren't necessarily the same thing, relationships, friendships. There's definitely something that's done, and there's no going back for it. There's no going back to heal it. Like, you've stepped into this Queen of Pentacles energy, and this is the new life is coming. There's a gap here. There's like a little gap where you have to feel the ending. 10 of Swords. Lovers. 6 of Cups. 8 of Cups. And the 3 of Wands. So there might be a reconnection with somebody, or an opportunity that is closing out. And the opportunity, may just be something that you're just like, yeah, this isn't for me. This can happen right after taking a new job. Can happen at the end of like a cycle. Like, you're just, I have a friend whose company just got bought out by another company, and she's kind of like, they're not going to lay her off, but I think she's like, it's not what I signed up for. They're changing the thing that I signed up for. So maybe I just start moving in a new direction. And I feel like that's a really healthy choice here, because the Lover's card is about choice, and the thing that's closing up is something that needs to be done in your life. And maybe there's a feeling of like, I'm not ready to let go of this career. I'm not ready to let go of this person. I'm not ready to let go. But death is here. Full moon in Gemini this week. All right. Talk to me about the full moon in Gemini, because we got that jealousy card. You might be experiencing a little jealousy about what it is that you like, what you want in your life, and you're looking at what is in your life and going, this doesn't match. Queen of Swords. 7 of Swords. Sun. Hermit. Yeah, it doesn't match. The Queen of Swords is looking and saying, I want this sun card, but right now I'm kind of living a lie. I'm living a belief that if I just stuck it out, if I just said the right things, if I just made the right call, if I just, brought together a bunch of new clients, then maybe this is going to work. Right. And we've all done this. Where we're, you're trying to bail out a sinking rowboat. That hole's there. It's not going away. Okay. And you can bail all you want, but as soon as you're done bailing, the water keeps coming back in. All right. So it's just not going to last. But the good thing is, you do know, or you are starting to see, this beautiful new life with this Sun card. And that is the happiest card in the deck. It is joyful. It is fun. It's exciting. It's all this. It's not going to be like it was. It's going to be better. It's not going to be like it was. And so some of you might be like, oh, I want it to be like it was. Really? I feel like you've outgrown it. I feel like you've outgrown something. So what's the conversation here on the full moon in Gemini? What's the conversation? Because you have a new dream. 9 of Cups. You have a new dream. Fool. King of Cups. Strength. Magician. Somebody is following their heart. Somebody is following their heart. Now, this can mean someone coming toward you or you going in the direction of your new life. Either way, you are going to be going in this direction that makes you feel good and happy and joyful. And it's like, I'm tired of kind of pasting it together with spit and chewing gum. I'm tired of shellacking over the big gaping holes in this connection. I'm tired of making excuses. I'm tired of, this is what happened to me at the end of my work in television when I think it was Thanksgiving even. And I was talking to a friend from high school. We were having a reunion and I was telling him that I was working for NBC and I was a producer. They shuttle you all over the place. They move you around. And they were like, wow, that's so cool. And I was like, sounds better than it is. And I heard myself say that. And the friend who was standing next to me after that person moved off and started talking to somebody else, the person that was standing next to me really knew the situation, that I was like burned out. And they were like, did you hear yourself say that? Because that's the first time I've heard you say that. And it was over within a year. It was over. Like it could have been over the next day. But I tried to kind of bail out my rowboat. And it just wasn't working. I was just burned out by it. I had learned all I had come to learn. My soul was like, it's time for you to move on. Okay. So there's this beautiful universe and the Ace of Wands here. Someone is following their heart. 5 of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands. This is the trying to bail out the rowboat thing. Okay. And when you follow your heart, yes, it is going to take some effort. It is going to take some time. But I love where you're going. I love that you are actively seeing it. If there's some kind of phrase or statement that comes out of you, like what happened to me sounds better than it is. That is your indicator. Okay. That this is what we're talking about in this reading. It's run its course. So to follow your heart can be a little scary, can look a little bit unclear in terms of the details, but I feel like you have enough awareness, 9 and 10 of Cups here, enough awareness of maybe what you don't want. You could start thinking about what I don't want. Like what is this current situation is teaching me what it is that I really don't want, the 10 of Swords. What doesn't feel good anymore? What's a lie? That seems pretty strong to me. But I almost feel like you're kind of putting a good face on things. You could be putting a happy face on things. And really, this has been going on for a while. Hermit, you might be looking inward and going, there's nothing about this. So I definitely had a checklist in a relationship with someone who was very narcissistic. And over the course, like I had a checklist of like, if these things are still present, then I'm unwilling to give up this situation. And you can do this for yourself. Whatever situation you're in that you're thinking about, like, is she talking about that? Have a checklist for yourself about like, if all of these things go away, what are the things that I need to have in a relationship, or what are the things I need to have in a work environment? And then match it up against what's really going on. And be honest with yourself. The more honest you can be, the better off you're going to be. And in that relationship, I had this checklist of like mutual support, rapport, balanced give and take. I had, humor and conversation, and I had, physical attraction, but I also had, emotional safety. I wanted to have real intimacy. All of these check marks started going away. And the physical safety one seemed kind of baseline to me. But when I unchecked that box, that was the moment. Physical safety. So my physical body feeling unsafe with this person. And also that can be about like money, how money works, physical, right? Tangible things, how sex works, how in a career position, like how my days are going. If your ideal day has nothing in common with how you're actually spending your day, then your checklist is empty. It's good to have a checklist though. I'm not a big fan of like, you have to have everything on my list. Otherwise, this is a useless relationship, because I don't really believe that. But at all, actually. But I do believe that there are certain baseline things that need to exist in order for me to develop that checklist and develop the connection and all of that. And boy, if there's a big gaping hole like physical safety, like they're not weighted equally. The things on that checklist are not weighted equally. And some of them need to be a given. So what's your checklist? Because I feel like you've just unchecked the last box. Okay. So I'm going to continue on with this reading. Let's look at what the new life, what is on offer from Spirit for this new life for you. I'm going to ask one more question about that jealousy card. I think other people could be jealous of you. 8 of Wands. Pretty soon, when you do this, there's a lot of new information and good stuff coming in. The full moon in Gemini could be ending an old conversation and starting a new one. 7 of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Oh, exciting. And then the 10 of Wands here. So I feel like part of this is about learning new things. Some of you might want to learn something new in your career path. Some of you might want to learn more things about yourself. Some of you may feel like this is just stale and it's time for me to go. Okay, so let's keep going. I want to look into December. Let's look into December and see where you might take this. December has a lot of really fast moving energy in the beginning, but then, like I said, it goes to a Capricorn moment at the solstice where it's like, it's about building and putting, building a new infrastructure or building a new scaffolding. We just had Saturn go direct in Pisces. So what have you been learning this whole summer and into this fall? Because I feel right now it's about ready to be implemented. All right, I'm going to continue on with this reading. Let's see where we go. Let's see what you don't see coming and get some advice. Link is below if you want to continue on. Pathfinders, let's just keep going. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.